It's amazing how quickly people got tired of Star Wars in just a couple of years. From the insane amount of hype for Force Awakens to the pathetic meh for Rise of Skywalker, it's been a real downward spiral of interest these past couple of years. Now I still intend to give my thoughts on the other two trilogies because the more I see of these Star Wars Twitter accounts explaining the lore left out of these new movies, the more pissed off I get. But I want to be positive for one last video before I let loose. So today, I want to recommend to you guys another fantasy movie intended for children that also came out in 1977. It's practically Star Wars, but also animated, has elements of Lord of the Rings, and more Nazi propaganda. I'm of course talking about Ralph Bakshi's only children's movie, Wizards. Yeah, you heard right. Children's movie. Anyway, let's take a look. So it starts out like any other fantasy movie, an exposition dump. We humans are committing not good things and then nuclear holocaust. Oh well. 2 million years pass by just like that, and the world is run by fairies and elves once more. Yeah, you heard right. Fairies and elves just exist in this world. I guess this is the alternate timeline of the Bright universe. Anyway, one day, some elf queen becomes pregnant and gives birth to twins, Avatar and Black Wolf. Can you tell which one is the bad guy? Avatar grows up to be one of the most powerful wizards of all time, and for some reason the highest grossing movie for 10 years running. Black Wolf, meanwhile, grows up in 4chan land and becomes the biggest edgelord of all time. Soon their mother dies of every mom dies in the beginning of every story disease. Black Wolf, being the edgy cunt that he is, tries to take over the world. But Avatar intervenes and they have a furious battle. A battle so epic that the animators couldn't even animate it. Anyway, Avatar wins and tells his brother to fuck off, another 3,000 years pass by, and the movie actually begins. If you've made it this far and are okay with continuing to be confused, then you've realized that this movie's endgame isn't to tell a coherent story. Or maybe it was and they fucked up. But it doesn't matter! So Black Wolf sends out his assassin goons to assassinate the leaders of the free world. Now I know what you may be asking. Is this like Lord of the Rings and Black Wolf is pretty much Sauron? To be honest, probably, I don't know. It's about as well explained as the Disney Star Wars movie where the balance of power is at. Anyway, one of the assassins is this guy who looks like he's a mix between Bender from Futurama and Spider-Man. He's named Necron99, and he's one of the most memorable characters, mainly because he's on all the posters and advertising for this movie, not because he's written well. So you may be thinking, he must be a huge part of this movie then, right? Huh. I guess not. Nah, just kidding. He falls into the hands of Avatar, who's an old man now and looks like one of the 7 dwarves. He's accompanied by Weehawk, a warrior elf, and Betty Boop's slutty cousin. I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but that face does not match that attire. Actually, this is Eleanor, a fairy whose father was the president of the land until he got shot by Redner over there. Again, if you're confused, don't worry. So am I, and I love this movie. All you have to know is that they figure out that Black Wolf is attacking again, and they have to go on a quest to destroy his secret weapon. You see, even though Black Wolf has an assload of mutants and the literal army of hell, they can't fight properly because they get easily distracted. I'm not kidding, that's the excuse they give as to why Black Wolf hasn't won a battle. So these characters have to go on an epic quest. Oh, and Avatar decided to call Necron99 Peace. That's his name now, because he brainwashed him to be on their side. It's kind of like K2SO and Rogue One, only not explained very well. So again, like Rogue One. Oh, you want to know what Black Wolf's secret weapon is? Nazi propaganda movies. Literally, he projects Triumph of the Will looking films into the sky and the demons are suddenly expert soldiers. Wow, Bakshi, that's clever. The pen is mightier than the sword? Nah, fam, the movie projector is mightier than the sword. But you know what's mightier than the film projector? Letterboxd, baby! I'm giving this whack-ass Nazi movie a half star. Problematic as fuck. There's only one movie and it's Parasite. Stand that one director film Twitter really likes until they drop him for the next director they like. Fuck Joker. Hey, did you guys know that Hitler is credited for being in Wizards? That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, Black Wolf shows Nazi and war imagery to hype up his army, but it also plays on the battlefield and distracts the good guys. Moving on, I can't put any logic into this. As Avatar and the rest of the crew travel to Black Wolf's castle, they come across a group of fairies led by Luke Skywalker. Yes, the leader of the fairies is voiced by Mark Hamill. Fun fact, the only reason I know about this movie is because I looked up Mark Hamill's filmography, and this was the first thing that he was in before Star Wars. And after watching this, I wanted to see other movies he's been in, but you know what? I don't think I will. And faster than you can say, remember when he was in Force Awakens for 10 seconds? He's killed. Now the next couple of scenes are a bit confusing, but I'll do my best. Eleanor is captured by the fairies and Avatar and Weehawk have to go save her. The fairies believe the group is responsible for killing Luke Skywalker fairy, but Weehawk believes it's Peace's fault. We later find out it wasn't Peace, but other Black Wolf assassins, but again, we don't find out until later. Anyway, Weehawk falls down a black hole and ends up in the 70s part of the cave, but it gets rescued by Peace. Avatar tries to give himself up, but Black Wolf tries to do something. I don't know, he just appears and is all like, oh, don't listen to Avatar, oh, he's a fool, and then he just disappears. Anyway, the new king decides not to get involved with either side and just tells everyone to fuck off and transports them to the North Pole. In a wild coincidence, Weehawk and Peace find Eleanor and Avatar, and they continue their quest in another montage as told by the narrator from the beginning because Bakshi keeps writing himself into a corner with this movie and doesn't have time to animate everything. Oh, man, this movie's exhausting. But did I mention it's one of my favorite movies? Alright, moving on. Avatar and friends come across a group of elves and Black Wolf tries to attack, but then Eleanor betrays them and kills Peace, and god damn it, I thought we were finished with the hard to follow scenes. Okay, wait, we're almost over. In another flashy scene, Black Wolf's army and the good guys are fighting, but the propaganda machine is playing, so the good guys are losing. So Avatar and Weehawk sneak into the castle, Weehawk finds Eleanor and calls her a slut. She explains to him that Black Wolf had put her into a trance and made her kill Peace, and no, I'm not going to explain how or why because I don't know, the movie doesn't explain either. Anyway, Avatar confronts Black Wolf for the final time. This is the fight that the movie has been hyping up. It's brother versus brother. It's an epic wizard battle to end all wizard battles. So Avatar readies his magic, except he doesn't. He takes out a gun and fucking shoots Black Wolf.
Get what you fucking deserve!
Yeah, sure, whatever. Black Wolf is defeated, the world is saved, I guess. Weehawk is declared the new ruler of the world, and Avatar and Eleanor decide to start a new world together even though he's like 10,000 years old and she looks 12. The end.
Time renews tomorrow when we've used today.
I'm not gonna lie, this movie is exhausting to explain. There's so much stuff I left out, either because I forgot about it or the movie forgets to explain it very well. However, there's just something about it that makes me return to it every once in a while. It's not a particularly good movie, but I can't say it's all that bad either. The story doesn't make any sense and the characters are non-existent, but the visuals are... okay, well, not particularly good either, but rather, they're interesting. The movie throws a lot of you in terms of the visuals. A lot of it can be really good, and a lot of it can be weird. There's several scenes where it's so obvious that they were just sketched over live-action footage. It's really weird, and yet kinda cool at the same time, which is probably the best way to explain this movie in general. This is kinda in the same ballpark as The Dark Crystal. Not necessarily good, but definitely has a strong visual style to it that you tend to forgive the weird inconsistencies. I'd recommend checking it out. If you be quiet about it, there's a secret video on YouTube called Bernie vs. Trump, but it's actually just the entirety of the movie. Shh, don't tell YouTube! Because then the video will be labeled for kids, and I don't care what Bakshi says, this movie is not meant for children. Anyway, this movie isn't the best, but hey, it's cool for what it is. I mean, could you imagine if this was the fantasy movie in 1977 that got turned into a corporate moneymaker that nerds yell about on the internet? Hey, speaking of which, I got some bad movies to defend.